Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Survival Addiction. Today, I'll be going over 10 unique items that you might want to consider adding to your bug out bag. I was laying in bed and I was just thinking of items that I probably should add to my bug out bag that I don't already have. Things with many uses that probably would help me preserve other tools so I can use those for the functions they're supposed to be used for, like my knife. So the first thing on the list is a pencil sharpener. So I'd recommend getting a metal pencil sharpener. You can use it to make tinder, so you can put like sticks in the holes and then twist it like a pencil and it can make tinder, and you can also sharpen sticks. So you can use them for like traps, shelter building. I'm sure there's more uses for it, but I'm actually going to add this to my bug out bag because I don't have one in it yet, and I think it would actually be really useful. The second item on the list I actually don't have yet. I've been waiting for it in BattleBox. I still haven't gotten it, and it's I believe it's the 30th today, December 30th, so I'm not sure I'm going to get it this month. I did opt to get the BattleBox without the knife and then get the knife shipped to me later, but I think something messed up in the system because I still haven't gotten it. So the second item is a plastic cordage maker. So you can make cordage out of like plastic bottles, and it's pretty strong. You like put it around the bottle and you twist it, and then it makes little strands out of the plastic, and the plastic is actually really strong. You can like make rope out of it and cordage, and it's really small, and I figure there's so much litter that in like a survival situation you probably could find bottles like everywhere, which is pretty useful. The third item on the list is garbage bags, and these actually have a lot of uses. You can use it as a poncho, you can use it as an emergency shelter, you can keep your belongings dry, you can keep your feet and shoes dry, you can use it as a ground cover, food storage, pillow, water container. So this is honestly probably the most useful thing on the list that I need to add. The fourth item is super glue. You can use super glue to fix gear. You can use it to make weapons. I wouldn't recommend doing this unless there was no choice whatsoever and you had a really good way to clean out the wound like 100% so there was no infection, but you can actually use it in place of sutures to close a wound. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't recommend doing this unless there was no other alternative. Like if your muscle is showing and there's no doctor around and you have a way to clean out your wound so you're unlikely to get infection and you have like antibiotics on hand, then this might be something that you could use. It is useful for that, but I wouldn't recommend it unless it was absolutely necessary. The fifth item on the list is safety pins, and I actually don't have any safety pins. I need to go to the store and get like a bag of them. And these have a couple uses that you can use. You can use it to pin gear together. You can make fishing hooks out of it. You can use it for your shelter. You can use it as a temporary clothes repair. Like you can use a safety pin to keep your clothes together while the super glue is drying. So it's not the most useful thing on the list, but it's something small that you can just like attach on the outside of your bug out bag, and it really doesn't add any weight. Number 6 is rubber bands, and you can use this to organize gear. You can use it as a hair tie. That's the only two things I could think of for it, but I'm sure there are other uses that you could use. I'm not sure if you could use it to make a slingshot. You might be able to. I don't know, I've never tried it. But they're small and you can just use them to organize gear, so it doesn't hurt to have. 7 is you want to have entertainment. So this is actually a really big set of chess. I want to go get like one of those little pocket ones, just like a teeny one that I can throw in my bug-out bag, because you can play chess by yourself, you can play it with your spouse, and you just want to have some type of entertainment. You don't have to get chess. I probably would recommend something other than a book, because, I mean, you read the book once and you can get bored. But if you get like a pack of cards or dice, there are a lot of other things that you can use as entertainment. But I think that's really important because it gives you stress relief. And in a survival situation, you're probably really high on stress. And having too much adrenaline for too long is really bad for you. It keeps you from getting bored. And it also can give you some mental stimulation, because you'll probably get a ton of physical stimulation in a survival situation, but you probably want some mental stimulation also. They've actually done a couple studies that mental stimulation, like taking care of kids, doing things like puzzles and chess and stuff, that actually will give you a better chance of not getting like dementia and Alzheimer's. So that would be good. Number 8, I think, is extremely important. So I'm actually going to go to the store and get little salt packets. This is just what I had on hand, just to show you. But number 8 is you want salt. If you don't take any other spices, you definitely want salt. It helps you balance fluids in your blood, and then it can also flavor food. So if you catch like a little squirrel, you can put some salt on it so it's not so gross. You know what I mean? Obviously you can take other spices like garlic or lemon pepper or cumin, like whatever you like, but if you don't take any other spices, at least take salt. It is really important for our bodies to be able to regulate fluids. Number 9 is fishing hooks and fishing line. This one is a little bit more obvious. You can use it to get food, obviously, and kind of like the super glue, you can use it to suture wounds. I wouldn't recommend it, but if the whole entire medical system's out, you don't have anyone that could repair your wound, you don't have any bandages, but the only thing you have are fishing line, a needle, and something to clean your wound out, then you could technically suture your wound. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you have no training in suturing, but in the worst case scenario, you could do it. Like I said, I do not recommend it, I'm not a doctor, but it is possible. And then number 10 is, I think, is pretty obvious, but it's something I actually don't have in my bug-out bag. I don't know why I don't, because it's really useful and I wouldn't want to break my knife on trying to open a can. So number 10 is a can opener. And I'm actually gonna get a can opener that's not like this. So this one's big and bulky, but there's smaller ones that are a lot better for bug-out bags, and you can put a couple of them in your bug-out bag, so if like one breaks, you can use it to open other cans. Because if, there's a pandemic, half the world dies, and food is really scarce, and you're like looting houses or whatever because, everyone's dead, then you want a way to open cans. Also, I do not recommend looting houses. But in a survival situation, if the people are dead, you could technically loot houses and get cans. And some people have like canned water, and there's like canned food and stuff. So you want a way to open it, and you probably don't want to use your knife because you might break it. So a can opener is pretty important. So that is the end of my list. And I did try and think of items that most people wouldn't think of just like off the top of their head. But I do think these items are pretty important, and I'm actually running to the store today to go get the items for my bug out bag. And I'll probably get some for my husband's as well, just because these are really important items. So if any of these items are useful for you, then I would recommend adding them to your bug out bag. And if you think these items just suck, you don't have to do anything. I just thought they were useful items that I plan on adding to mine, and I just wanted to share them because you guys might be able to use some of these items for your bug out bag. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.